All right, good afternoon, everyone. Today we're going to discuss Jack Snow, and my name is Diana Mitchell, and I'm currently his special educations teacher, and I'd just like to do a quick roll call. So the general ed,
Kristen Pelton, present.
speech,
Jamal Castain here.
and our occupational therapist.
Shannon McClendon, present.
Perfect. Okay, so Jack, as we all know, just going over a few items on his once again to review. Jack is 10 years old. His IEP has him diagnosed as autistic. He does fall on the autistic spectrum. His home language is English, very first language, only language he actually speaks. He's the oldest out of 3 siblings. He's involved in many things after school, swimming, he goes to day camps, so he's a very active student, an active child after school. Socially, he does enjoy social proximity with the rest of the students, but the only thing that we are finding is that he is not staying on task. So he academically, he is on level with his students. Math, he's actually excels in math. Jack does not have to be even in a sense present, meaning that he doesn't have to be sitting down. He can be in the study area and still just listen in and learn the math concepts. So that is not what the problem is. Those aren't what we are focusing on today. What we're trying to focus on today is more keeping him on task. Jack loves anything that has to do with baseball. He loves pigs, which is the newest thing that we discovered. And as we all know, he has a love for trains. The love for trains is something we've used in the past in trying to keep him on task. So I have something that I brought in to try and recommend maybe we use this also, something that was created. The next thing about Jack that we discussed is because of his interest with his peers and social interaction with them, we've been able to use the peers to kind of keep him on track also. And because he's very much empathetic to everyone else's feelings and he'll put everybody else before him, it kind of helps because if the other students kind of want to be like, Jack, come on, we want to go to lunch, he snaps into it, which is good. He likes the attention. Positive reinforcement also has been working well to build his confidence. We definitely feel that Jack benefits from the inclusive classroom environment. He is in the NEST program, obviously, because he's autistic, but we do feel that this inclusive program has benefited him. The other thing that we want to discuss is his reading. He's able to understand a majority of what he reads. If the topic is a subject he's interested in, obviously he's going to go above and beyond and be able to give you the written task will be on point. Reading comprehension sometimes will get a little bit murky if it's not something he's interested in. So we want to try and figure out some goals in order to keep him on task in that subject matter. Sometimes he does have trouble formulating main ideas because if it's like I said, if it's not something he's interested in, he's just kind of stops reading. Though Jack writes well, sometimes he does have trouble initiating writing tasks. So in my accommodations or in my modifications, I'm going to discuss some benefits of maybe having some starter sentences for him and working with the starter sentences. The other thing that I wanted to discuss is the check-in that I have created. So I created this check-in, like I said before, we discussed having anything having to do with trains. So this is sort of like the check-in that I created. We had the old one, but it wasn't working as well. This check-in actually allows him to let us know where he's at, what stop is he on his train. So we're starting out with 1, first stop, everything's great. 2, he might need a little bit of help. 3, things start going not too good, and he's having the brain rock, as we call it, when main idea, starter sentences, that's where he starts having a little bit of problems. And then this is where things start getting hard, and now he's getting frustrated. So this allows him to let us know, okay, this is where I'm at right now, and where he feels he's going to need the help. So as we're going around the classroom, I'm able to check in with him. So this was one modification that I created, and I'd love to now get everybody's input.
Okay, I first, as his general education teacher, I think that check-in is absolutely phenomenal. However, I do think that we can add to that same check-in, some seat breaks, maybe a stop where he needs a seat break. We can also add some classroom jobs because as you stated, Jack is on level with reading and math. So that's not the issue, is keeping him on task. So give him some scheduled seat breaks and or classroom jobs. So when he's finished with some work and we've gone over it, we've checked it, and he's still ahead of the others, he can complete his classroom job. Also, I think the writing prompts should be at his desk, so to speak, instead of us having it so broad everyone can use it, but let's make some specifically for Jack. So that's my suggestion.
Okay.
Well, my suggestion, I feel like we should have, including the writing prompt, Jack should recall and organize and retell the story. So we should have like first, secondly, third, and last, so he can fully retell the story. Maybe give him text that he's interested in. Something about trains or pigs or something that we're interested in. I think that would be good. Maybe some visual strategy checklists and models. Maybe we'll help him verbal reminders. That would maybe be good. And probably give him choices. If he did this and he stayed on task for the whole day, me as a speech teacher, I'll probably give him some choice to allow him to do what he wanted to do. I'll probably make his free period.
Okay.
That's what I feel like would be good for that.
As the OT therapist, I believe that it is my job to ensure that Jack receives the highest possible level of independence, but that's also the role of all of us, hence why we're here. From what it seems, Jack seems to be pretty high functioning. However, his problem lies between maintaining his concentration and also his task initiation. So what I would do is, similarly to Ms. Pelton's Ivan, implement the general skill building technique. So focus on what is being given to you. You break it down into manageable steps, and also the same with Ivan. You would also give him the necessary spatial, the procedural support, and you will also give him the necessary spatial support so that he's able to gather himself, and that also goes into his frequency for breaks. So the more time that you give him to work with the space that you give him, like the space that you allow him to receive, so that he's able to function, etc., he will not need as much frequency for breaks, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, no, I get it.
Yeah, and also I would work with Jack one-on-one, both in and outside of the classroom, just to make sure that he is implementing the necessary I will work with him both in and outside of the classroom to make sure that he is given the necessary tools and materials, and that he is implementing it both in and outside of the classroom.
Okay. All right, so just to review, I want to review a couple of things that we discussed. So I showed you guys this particular check-in, and I want to know how you guys feel about this check-in.
I felt it was great.
Okay.
Wonderful strategy.
So just to let you know, I did also show this to his parents. I emailed them this last night, and they were very excited about it. They were especially excited because it contained his face, and he's very, like I said, he is a very sociable child, so he does like pictures. So they felt he might enjoy this. So I'm gonna start implementing this. Today's Thursday, but we're gonna start implementing this on Monday. I want to start trying to implement whatever we decide on today as of Monday. So do we take a vote on this, on his check-in 1 through 5?
1 to 5.
Alright, perfect. Alright, one of the things that was suggested also was breaks. So it was suggested in 2 different ways regarding breaks. Are we inconclusive regarding breaks, and how frequent would be my question actually?
So they would only come once his work is absolutely complete and checked by a teacher, and then they would be 5-minute walking breaks throughout the classroom, no more than that.
Okay. Does everyone agree that a 5-minute walking break, once he has completed his work and it's been checked over, is, okay, perfect.
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, okay. Classroom jobs, I love that idea of giving him a classroom job, because as you stated, if he's done quickly, and he does like to be interactive, classroom job to me is amazing, and I wish I would have thought of that also. So is everyone in favor of that?
Aye.
Perfect. The writing prompts were brought up a couple of different times, and writing prompts and checklists were both brought up. So would you suggest that the writing prompts, there are different checklists per subject, or how would we want to? I don't want to have too many things on his
I don't
desk.
think you should do writing prompts different subjects because you mainly write during your ELA.
Mm-hmm.
Just during writing.
Yeah.
So now is this writing prompt going to be on his desk?
Yes.
Are we taping it to the desk? Okay. Okay. Next thing that was brought up was we want to kind of do a recall and organize when he's doing his writing, when he's doing his reading and then his writing tasks. And is this where we would kind of want to also implement the writing prompts? That's kind of going to go hand in hand, I would say, at this point.
Well, I agree.
Okay. All right, perfect. So that's great. We'll do this hand in hand. Interest, I definitely agree on that. We actually just bought a couple of books regarding trains. So, and his parents, when I emailed them last night, said that they want to get us a few more books for the classroom. So I'm going to let them know if they can get us a book on pigs, since he's so into pigs, and a couple of books on baseball. So we're going to hope that those interests are going to push him forward and allow him any problems that he has with main ideas. And is everyone else in favor of that?
Aye.
Perfect. Choices, you brought up giving him some choices. Are these choices, once again, during the seat break, his breaks, or when are we doing these choices?
Yeah, it could be during the break once he's on task and he's done everything. We can give him a choice to want to step out and go get some water or step out and get the bathroom.
Okay.
Similarly to his walk arounds.
Okay. So I would suggest, and tell me if you guys are in agreement, most choices he should get should be 2. And we should give him the ability to discuss if there's something else that he might have been interested in doing that. Okay. 2 choices. Okay. The next thing that was discussed were the general skill building techniques, and supporting him in his writing and supporting him regarding the times that he needs to take his breaks. And are we all in favor of that?
Aye.
Yes? Okay. All right, so we're gonna adjourn this meeting now because we've all been in favor. We will meet one more time in 2 months from now, just to see how these have implementing any of these modifications, if they've changed anything in his behavior, if we've been able to get him on task. If before that anything is, we're noticing that any of these are not, I might call a meeting earlier than that, but as of now, I think in 2 months from now, we should be okay, and I will send everything to his parents.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.